Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. Happy Tuesday. Sometimes I need to do that slowly. So happy to have you with us here today. And really happy because we are spotlighting an exciting event that we are hosting this Friday at 10 a.m. For those of you that are regulars of the YW, you know that we have our When on the Go programs, which are our Women's Empowerment Network, and they're wonderful opportunities to bring women together that are either working in our small business platforms, in our corporate environments, or somewhere in between, to be able to help support them on discussions and conversations that will help strengthen their work. So with that, we are having an event virtually this Friday at 10 a.m. We hope that you can join us. We'll have the link here in the comments in case you would like to register if you haven't done so yet. And we are so grateful to our sponsor for this event, which is McLaren Engineering. And we are thrilled at this one in particular because it is so timely. It is exactly what we need right now. It's all about work-life balance, which we'll talk about if that exists. If that's like the snuffleupagus of of the women's work world, but work-life balance and life now during and now towards coming out of COVID, which is really feels a little bit different for everyone. I know for sure. We know that people are trying to get back to more normalcy in their work environments, and but obviously the expectations, especially for women who are, juggling family needs, family obligations, as well as their work obligations. We're in a different place than we were pre-COVID for sure with all of that. So with that, I'm so grateful to have one of our amazing panelists from Friday make the time to do a little sneak peek with us today about the conversation. And so with that, welcome to Michele Brown.
Thank you, Helen. Always a pleasure.
Well, always a pleasure for me too. And those of you who are friends of the YW know that Michele is a longtime friend of the YW, and we have been spending time together for so many years in so many ways, inspiring girls, inspiring women, inspiring our team. She has touched so many places and spaces in the YW with her talent. But let me tell you a little bit about her background past that. She is the principal, CEO, and certified executive coach of Intu Action Coaching, and she has 25 years of corporate leadership experience focused on transforming individuals and teams to achieve superior strategic business outcomes. She is a certified behavioral and values analyst, as well as trimetrics specialist, which she uses in her executive coaching, leadership development, and skill building programs. And I have to say, I know so many people that have worked with her personally, and so many people who have been touched by her in a group setting when she's done programs, and she really brings you to the next level. She just, I think about it's like a needle going right into a balloon and popping it. She, in the most supportive and impactful way. So I love that about you, Michele. So welcome.
I receive it. Thank you, Helen. I've never been described that way. A balloon popper. I love it.
Well, maybe it's spending so much time with my 8-year-olds, but we spend a lot of time with balloons around here.
Perfect example.
But with that, so, we use the words work-life balance. First of all, I know we're going to be talking a lot about whether or not it exists, but, we don't want to give away the whole conversation on Friday for sure, but we do want people to have a sense of what we're talking about. But how has this work-life balance concept shifted and changed over this year?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I have reframed that term work-life balance even prior to COVID, because I don't know that our life and our work, for the most part, is ever in balance, right? But I call it work-life integration. And to answer your question, I think it's just been exacerbated. Women in particular are still grappling with how to integrate their personal life and all the responsibilities that they have, given what their roles are, and make sure that they're still valued and committed to, their work, either as business owners, as you mentioned, or professionals within a work environment. And with COVID and transitioning to working in a remote environment, I think it's just exacerbated it because, especially working from home for those women who are caretakers, whether they have children that had to be homeschooled, with whatever their personal responsibilities were, things started to encroach. They had to be on Zoom calls or conference calls, certainly working on their computer, dedicating areas of their house or residence to a work environment. It just made things a little wonky. And I know for experience, with a lot of the clients that we've supported over the course of the last year and a half, this is something that, really challenged them how to organize their day in a way that, gave attention to if they did have to support children who were being homeschooled, as well as making sure that, they were on the money with regard to what their work responsibilities. It was a real challenge. So I think, again, in short order, it just exacerbated things because it's not like they had a commute going into the office and a set start time and a set end time. All of a sudden now their waking hours, whether it be, 18, it was how do I get all of that done in a productive way.
Yeah. And I mean, personally, obviously can really relate to that, being that I've been working from home and grateful that I had the, privilege to be able to do that, of course, but, managing having 8-year-old twins, homeschooling, managing, caring for my 90-year-old mother who we moved in during this time and work. It's definitely been a challenge. And I have to say, a year and a few months into it now, I don't know that I really ever figured out the right rhythm to it because, and I think this is one of the things I'm really looking forward to Friday's discussion to talking about, is that, your workday doesn't always end so neatly. Your kids need stuff when they need stuff. And when you're caring for, a parent, an older parent, and they've got health needs, they need stuff when they need stuff. And sometimes that all converges at the same time, of day. So it's not like you can just say, this is the schedule and I'm doing it every single day this way because.
Absolutely. The advantage has been, and this again, my business has always been remote since I started it in 2007. But again, my experience with talking to colleagues and certainly the clients that we support, the advantage though has been that with the trust that a lot of organizations have offered their remote employees, they've been able to take that span of time working from home and being able to sort of shuffle it in a way that they didn't have that opportunity in the past, so that if doctor's appointments needed to be made, people could log in, log out, and then they could certainly work towards the latter part of the evening if they needed to be. So, again, it's always sort of that integration. It wasn't the 9 to 5, 8 hours a day. It ended up being something that with whatever their tasks or projects, they were able to splinter it in amongst the course of the day and try as best they could to manage anything that, needed to be handled in their personal life.
And that definitely is the positive, of what existed. And I guess that's going to be the piece that'll be challenging to see how to manage when workplaces, as they are opening up more and more each day, do they get back to a traditional setup or not? Which I know we'll be, talking about for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of organizations, again, this is what we'll discuss a lot more in detail on Friday, are offering a bit of a hybrid scenario. Historically, years before COVID, a lot of organizations were hesitant and had a lot of trepidation about, remote working and allowing associates to kind of work from home because they felt, well, out of sight, out of mind. If we can't see you, is the performance and the tasks really being done? But I think this has proven for the most part that organizations can thrive and perhaps a hybrid scenario of maybe working 2 or 3 days in the office and the remaining at home can still be doable. So we're still going to have to test the waters and companies will have to see what works best for them.
Yes, yes. And I think that that's going to be very, definitely going to be the, hopefully, culture shift, that we've needed, because, we know for especially women in the workplace, when we talk about some of the challenges, that managing these things on a strict timeline and all of that going back and forth to work and so forth has definitely, impacted the ability to have a good quality of life anywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do think that it puts it on all of us that are employers, including the YW for that matter. We're looking at it right now as well. How can we have learned from what we've just experienced, and how do we get the best out of our employees
Absolutely.
during this time? And for small business owners, I'm assuming too, I mean, it shifted the way that they did business from everyone that we've spoken to, on YWTV over this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just kind of want to also add that, this is an employee's market, right? There are a lot of positions available, and employees have now a lot of options and choices. And what we're finding with organizations, small to large, is how do they become an employer of choice? And, compensation, benefits, that's an incentive, but also now in looking to not only retain, but attract talent, it's how they can certainly offer a bit more flexibility to their associates. And especially for women, this is what we've always really grappled with. When women get to a certain age where they want to have a family, sometimes, this is where they've hit the glass ceiling, because organizations have lost good talent simply because if they've not been open and flexible to potentially, a flexible work schedule or even a job share, they lose a lot of talent because women, don't opt to want to stay in that environment. So there's going to be a lot of decisions, hopefully good ones, that organizations will make in order to accommodate the needs specifically of women, in order to attract and retain that top talent.
Well, I really look forward to the discussion on Friday. Just for our viewers, so Michele will also be joined with Tanisha Russell-Day, who's also a good friend of the YW. She's a founder and managing consultant of Key HR Consulting. And we will also be joined by Tanvi Matthew, who is a psychotherapist, life coach, and founder and clinical director of Emerge, the counseling and coaching center. And these three women, not only are they experts in their field in terms of the work that they do, but they themselves have been through these struggles. So they bring a tremendous perspective of both of those pieces to the conversation. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I know just last week alone, I think I had 2 or 3 phone calls from women in different, whether it's the public sector, the nonprofit sector, government agencies, or, business, asking, how do we manage this? What's the, what's the rules for, what are the rules from here, and what are the options? So this is definitely a conversation that, we're here. The governor's lifted everything. And it almost feels strange, right? To be able to just, some of us are doing it at a slower pace than others, right? Just kind of get back out there. But it's definitely forcing us to look at this now because it's in front of us.
Yes. It needs attention. And yeah, the situation has caused and forced organizations to kind of pay attention to it and begin to do, business unusual.
Yeah.
On its head and figure out what we need to do differently or better.
So I'm curious, I think we've done a nice job giving folks a sense of what to look for on Friday. One of the things, though, that the reason that I could describe you the way I did is because I really have been a fangirl of your work for so long, and I've seen you speak so often in groups, and had so many conversations one-on-one with you that I really feel like one of your talents is to just, again, zero right in. You're so laser focused. You listen and then you just kind of go right to it. Where does the coaching world go? What are women in our communities looking for now, or what should they be considering reaching out to a coach for now? Because, there's so much, going on for us. What is something that we would go to a coach for, to help us manage?
You really asked a really good question. And if I could sum it up, I would say empowerment. It's always been a goal, not only of professionals, but particularly of women, to find their voice and sort of speak their truth and be able to behave. I say this in a powerful way in terms of what is it that they want for their lives to be satisfactory and fulfilled, right? So empowerment is a lot of, it's always been an integral part of leadership, which is what we do, leadership and professional development. But I would say the lion's share, whether the client is an organization or the private clients that we support, women in particular are seeking validation and support about how to speak up and stand up to what it is that they want from an employer. There's a lot of commitment and value contributions, but what can an organization now do for me, with me, in order for me to want to stay here and have this be my career? And women, haven't always felt comfortable. There's that imposter syndrome, that term that's been around for many, many years. It's still somewhat alive and well, but a lot of the support that I think women are looking for now is the courage and the confidence and the empowerment to truly not only identify their goals and their wishes and their dreams, but communicate them either to a prospective employer or to their existing employer, and make sure that there is that balance in what they give versus what they receive.
Yeah, I love that. And I appreciate you giving that detail because, I thinking about the comment you made earlier about it being an employer's market. But when you think about the fact, and this is a little deviation from obviously, but builds on the Friday conversation, but it's, it's part of the continuum of the conversation for sure, is that if it is an employer's market,
employees market.
I'm sorry, I meant that, an employees market. That's what I meant to say. Being that it is an employees market, then as women, as employees, need to be able to ask for what they want. Yes. But since it isn't something that comes so naturally for us normally, historically, that it's something that we need to exercise like a muscle and practice and have some modeling for and help us get there to ask things.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell clients, especially those that are, in a job market, right, looking to take advantage of, the tremendous opportunities. I tell them, you're interviewing your prospective employer in addition to them interviewing you. So it's okay to go in with certain questions that you want to find out about their culture and the dynamics beyond what the function might be, to make sure that this is the right place for them, and giving them permission to ask those tough questions, because, they want to make sure that, wherever you are, again, it's hopefully for the long haul, and it's going to provide you the foundation and the support that they need in order to flourish.
Yep. Absolutely. So can you tell our viewers a little bit? I know you've got some wonderful opportunities, especially with the virtual world, for folks to jump on and join and get to know you and your work a little bit. I'd love to be able to share that so that our viewers have the opportunity to benefit from what you put out there, even greater than our conversation on Friday.
Yeah, this is what I've really enjoyed about, online video conferencing and webinars. It's enabled us to, as subject matter experts, to really kind of reach a broader audience than just being at an event. In addition to the coaching work that we do, we do webinars and consultations. But one of the really exciting things that I've been involved in since COVID started back in March of last year has been partnering with a dear friend of mine and a colleague, Amber Lee Forrester, who's a positive psychology practitioner. And the first Wednesday of every month, we have created a Lunch and Learn series called PurposeDriven Leadership, Purpose-Driven Professional, and it's completely free, sort of on the same lines of what the YWCA does. We invite professionals. Women in particular are the lion's share of our audience, And it's a open dialogue, and we talk about a myriad of topics that we believe are relevant. Diversity at this point, equity, inclusion, again, work-life integration. So yeah, that's kind of a labor of love that we want to offer to professionals out there. And that just gives them a tease. The support is free. It's complimentary. They kind of sign in at 12:30 the first Wednesday of every month, and we're together for about an hour. But it, is a way of branding and marketing our own services. She's got her practice, I have mine. But this is kind of a way that we wanted to do a give back.
Yes. And it's, she's amazing. You're amazing. And the two of you together are, fire for sure. And for those of you watching, you can connect and learn more about this opportunity through the link we have here on Into Action Coaching. And you can sign up for that free opportunity monthly, and, also get be able to embrace and engage in different conversations, but related, to, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But, I really encourage women to think about talking about the struggles that they're having, and the thoughts that they're having now about their workplace, about their work design, reaching out, because we've all been stirred a little bit, by what's happened, and it's not going to be so easy to just jump back into what was, for sure. So,
yeah,
we definitely need that. So with that, we encourage everyone to reach out and connect. Again, we've got the link here for Friday, so please join us. It's virtual, it's a Zoom link, it's easy, do it from your home, schedule it in your day, box out the time, and be with us. And again, it's not only the wonderful Michele who will be with us, but Tanisha Russell Day, founder and managing consultant of Key HR Consulting, and Tanvi Matthew, who's the psychotherapist, life coach, founder, and clinical director of Emerge, the counseling and coaching center. So we hope everyone considers joining us. I also hope you join us tomorrow, where I'll be talking with Ari Laura Creeth, who is the artistic director of Luna Stage, and Paul Williams, who is the chair of the board of directors of Valley Arts. There's a wonderful program that they have launched for Pride this month, and it's a great opportunity to do some learning. And then on Thursday, I'd love for you to join me with Rosalind Rogers, who is the CEO and president of Planned Parenthood of Metropolitan New Jersey, for our Share the Mic Now. And she is another powerhouse and doing such amazing work. She's really devoted her entire career to reproductive justice. And, we'll be talking about her journey then. So with that, any last thoughts for our viewers that may be contemplating joining us on Friday, Michele?
Well, first off, I just, you amaze me. You give me such sort of kudos, but back at you, because what you have done for the YWCA of Northern New Jersey is just extraordinary. Offering these forums and inviting women in particular to sort of, be surrounded and supported. It's just tremendous work. So I'm just glad to be part of the party, so to speak.
Yeah. I am too. We've got a great team, and the party, they're always great to be with. And we definitely focus on lifting women and hearing what women need, so we can keep designing programs. So for our viewers, this is really about sharing messages. That's why we do YWTV. So we hope that there was something that struck you about this conversation today, and that you integrated into a conversation with someone when you leave us. And as you know, this will live on our Facebook page, and you can easily share it by copying the link and texting it to someone, sending it to them in Messenger, putting it on your Facebook page. But please think about those in your network that might benefit from joining us on Friday. It's a wonderful opportunity, no charge, and really give you a place and a space to think about changing your life and strengthening yourself. And we talk about wanting to live authentic and our best lives, and be as present as we can where we are. These are the ways that it happens. some kind of nugget hits you.
Right.
And plants the seed.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my friend, I will see you on Friday in another little box. And until then, keep being fabulous. And everyone else vote. This is a big day. This is a voting day. I don't know if everyone can see my shirt. I wore it specifically for today. Who runs the world?
Wow.
Who runs the world, folks?
Yes. Yes.
Think about that when you're voting today. Think about that when you're voting today. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Be well.
Yeah. Thanks.
Michele, for joining us. We'll see you on Friday.
Absolutely.